Things are not always what they seem in China. We're going to have 2-3 China slides, and I can't see that. So there was a time when China's biggest state-owned enterprise was seen as the country's crown jewels. In fact, China's biggest state firms were bloated, inefficient, and it costed a lot. The real dynamism in the Chinese economy has long come from entrepreneurial private firms, which account for perhaps 2/3 of the entire output of the country. That's The Economist. So when we talk, and we've talked about it many times, we talk about transition from an emerging market, not very mature, to a developed economy, mature. That's a transition from an industrial, basically state-purchased, built, we're going to build a bridge, we need to increase GDP, we're going to build a dam, versus 5,000 small companies doing little things to move the needle a little bit for GDP. So 2 things in China. First thing is they're moving from the let's build a dam, let's build a city, let's build a road, to these 5,000 small companies. Okay, first thing. Second thing is, as you do that, you have to build the infrastructure to get the data. If you're used to saying, we get 1% of GDP by building a bridge, so we got to build 5 bridges to get 5% of GDP, how do you now measure 5,000, 50,000 little small businesses? They don't have the tools on the ground built to measure the breadth and depth of the economy that they have. And at the same time, they're trying to move it towards that. So that's another thing. One other note on China, and this is when you think about, we're 70% of the economy, right? 70% of our purchases are services. Services are local. As China develops, they're going to develop in that direction. So much of the growth in the economy isn't going to be buying manufactured goods. They still have a lot of manufactured goods to buy. They're going to manufacture a lot of them there, but it's going to be a service economy. And they have no way of measuring that there. There is no way to measure it. So there's economic growth that's happening there that doesn't get measured. Okay? There's also economic growth that's happening there that gets measured and exaggerated. So we're left with really no way of knowing the data, right? So it's not, and this isn't news. This is what the news is talking about, but we've known this all along. Like this is a decade-old information. But now if you just listen to CNBC or CNN or NPR, it's, oh my God, they're slowing down, it's terrible, it's not going to. Yeah, they're slowing down because they're moving from state-sponsored, forced growth, build a bridge, to 50,000 small businesses trying to create something, an app, whatever, just like we have here that's robust and growing. They have it there, it's growing, and as they do that, they're going to move to more services, they have to figure out a way to measure it. It's not that they're not growing. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah.
It does, but where does the, for lack of a better term, where does the lie come from? Does it come from the government? Does it come from the people? Does it come from people that are trying to sell their wares? And
all of the above.
All of the above. So
yeah.
It's universal. We're making 120% profit this year.
There's a lot of that.
Okay.
There's a lot of that. There's also just the country, the government says, okay, we need to get your data, we need to get your data, you need to get your data. You're going to be judged on your data. Oh, my data was great then. Right. So that person's going to report and have a little lie. Then they're going to inflate a little bit more. But there's also all this stuff that's happening that you can't measure. So they have so much to lose by letting this blow up. They can't let it blow up. If it starts to tank, real estate starts to tank, they will QE it. They'll do what we do because they can. They have a ton of currency reserves. They're going to be fine.